Hello. OMG, hi. Hello. Hi everybody. I haven't been live in a while and I wanted to come on and say hello and talk about books. I wanted to come on and talk about books because I've been reading a lot of books recently. And that's what I've been up to, and that's what I'm going to continue to be up to. And I wanted to share what I've been reading and what's on my to-be read list, and maybe see what you guys are reading and what you guys recommend. So, hi. The first one I want to recommend, that I've already kind of recommended in an interview before, but I want to mention it on this live because I think that anybody who watches Legacies, which if you don't watch Legacies and you're here, hi. But I think that it's a really good series that if you don't read, and even if you do read, it's just highly enjoyable. And that is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. It's a 3-book series. It's called the Wayfarer series. And I just absolutely love this series. I haven't read the 3rd one because I'm holding on to it. Because I'm sure that people get this way about certain shows or movies and books. But this book and this series brings this warm joy to my heart. And I want to share that with everybody. It's just so clever and well done and highly enjoyable and just such an easy read. It's very accessible, and I think that anybody of any age can read this and enjoy it. Hi. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this series, and if they have, maybe I'm just out of the loop. But I really hope that whoever's watching this, at least one person, takes away from this live that they read this, because I just find a lot of joy in the Wayfarer series. And I'm going to keep it on my bookshelf for forever, I think, and just revisit it. Somebody just said they just read The Secret Life of Addie LaRue, and that's on my TBR list as well. Haven't read it yet. What I also just finished, this is my first time dipping into classics. I won't say I was a hater as well. Haven't read it yet. What I also just finished, this is my first time dipping into classics. I won't say I was a hater because I was not a hater. I just had assumptions. I just read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And I really loved it. I did not think I was gonna love it, but I really loved it. I thought going into it, well, I didn't know anything. I hadn't seen any of the films. I didn't know anything about it. I knew that it was British and that it was romance, and those things don't necessarily as you guys know, obviously from my last recommendation, that sci-fi, fantasy, that's my jam. Anything involving physics, biology, anything like that, bring it on. So this was not something that I was necessarily drawn to initially. But as I was reading and I started doing some research, this was revolutionary in feminism. It truly was. This was written and published in 1847. And Jane Eyre is badass. She had the nerve to come to her master and say, because she worked underneath him, there's no weird thing there, and say that I am your equal. I think the same way you do. And that was not a common thought in the 1800s. And it was highly enjoyable. I love this book, and I actually found it relatively accessible I don't think I would have found this accessible when I was 16, but that's because I lacked patience and intellectual capacity. So if you're 16 and you're a smart cookie, I was not. But I really, really, really enjoyed this book. I read it in like a short weekend on event page. And I highly recommend it if you haven't read any classics and you kind of want to dip your toes into it. I'm now going into all of Bronte sisters' works. I just started reading, there it is, Wuthering Heights, and I am not deep enough in it to give my opinion on it. Anyways, on my TBR, to be read, to read list, I have 2 books coming from her name, I could be pronouncing this so wrong, is Han Kang, Korean novelist. I'm reading The White Book and The Vegetarian, and I'm so excited to read those 2 books. And if anybody's read them, let me know, because I'm very interested to hear your opinion, and I am very, is there something in my eyeball? I'm very excited to read it. So if anybody has read that, let me know. What else am I reading? I have, I'm reading the Ambergris series by Jeff Vandermeer, and I absolutely love Jeff Vandermeer. I've talked about him before. When I read Annihilation, Call Me Basic, I Don't Care. I loved Annihilation so much. I think that his writing is incredible. The way that I can picture everything that he's describing, and what he's describing is insane, but it is so incredibly accessible. Anyways, I'm obsessed with him. And what's funny about Jeff Vandermeer is that I was reading Born. That's a really great one as well. And there is just something in my eye. And I think that it's funny. Maybe it's because I haven't read much classics or just much normal novels. But when I was reading Born, this isn't giving away much of anything. This is like already in the beginning. There's a flying bear with biotech attached to its fur that is edible. I did not think twice about that at all. It was just like, oh, okay, yes, understood. There were moments in Jane Eyre that I was mind blown. Like, there's no way. That doesn't make any sense. No. And maybe it's because I'm gullible. Or maybe it's just because I'm not culturally aware. I don't know. But I really love Jeff Vandermeer, and I'm starting to read his Ambergris series, and I'm very excited to dig into it. It's like thick, and that's a little daunting, so I haven't really dove into it yet, but so is Wuthering Heights. I have found Wuthering Heights to be daunting. So let me know in my DMs and on Twitter and where have you, what you've been reading and what you recommend. If you read any of the books that I've recommended or the books that I'm about to read, let me know. And yeah, I hope that you guys are all doing well. And somebody says, give me a book, please. I just like mentally gave you one. Is that enough? But yeah, the Wayfarer series, Jane Eyre, anything Jeff Vandermeer. Where can you find these books? Everywhere. I just recently came across the app Thrift Books, where you can find books for incredible prices, and it's better for the environment to thrift books. Although with certain authors, like especially like with Becky Chambers. She's a newer author, so I went directly to sort of Barnes and Noble to make sure that she got, I don't know, like to make sure that the money went to that direction, because I want to support the authors that I love, and I want Becky Chambers to adopt me. So, so yeah, I really hope that you guys are reading during your summer break. And if you're not, I hope that you're doing something other than scrolling on your phone. So yeah, I love you guys. I hope you're staying safe. And yeah, bye.